Let me tell you something. Everybody wants to be consistent when it feels good. Everybody wants to show up when they're inspired, when they're hyped, when life is cooperating. But the people who change the game, the people who build something real, something lasting, they don't rely on feelings. They force themselves to be consistent because they understand something most people miss. Feelings are fleeting, but discipline builds empires. You see, motivation is a spark. It's loud, it's exciting, and yeah, it can get you out of bed once or twice. But discipline is the engine. It's quiet. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't care if you're tired or busy or discouraged. Discipline whispers, show up. And if you listen to that whisper long enough, it becomes your command. I'm not talking about some magic moment where everything lines up and you suddenly become this super consistent version of yourself. No, I'm talking about the grind. I'm talking about waking up on the days where everything in your body says stay down. And your mind has to stand up and say, we move anyway. You've got to stop giving your emotions the steering wheel. You've got to stop letting your mood dictate your mission. You don't train for a fight on the day of the fight. You train every single day when nobody's watching, when there's no crowd, no applause, just you and the quiet. That's where champions are made. Most people confuse consistency with convenience. They think, I'll be consistent when it's easy, when I've got time, when I'm not stressed. But if you wait for ideal conditions, you'll never start. Life will always hand you reasons to quit. Your job will get busy, your relationships will be tested, your energy will be low, and that's exactly why consistency has to be forced. You have to decide, once and for all, that you are not negotiable, that your goals are not suggestions, that your commitment is not conditional. I remember grinding in the dark when nobody believed in me. I remember talking to myself in the mirror saying, we don't skip days, we don't make excuses, we don't take breaks when it gets tough, we go harder. Because at some point, you have to become your own coach. You've got to call your own timeouts. You've got to remind yourself of what you said when you were clear, when you were committed, when you had that fire. Because life is going to test that. Life is going to bring distractions, detours, and disappointments. And the only thing that's going to keep you anchored is your decision to be consistent, no matter what. Some of you keep restarting because you've never fully committed. You've dipped your toes in the water, but you never jumped in. You're consistent for a week, then you disappear. You say you're all in, but the moment life says not today, you back off. You have to force it. You have to command yourself. You have to become so focused that quitting isn't even on the list of options. And listen, this isn't about being perfect. This is about being relentless. You're going to mess up. You're going to fall off. But you don't stay down. You get back up and keep moving. Consistency doesn't mean you never stumble. It means you never stop. It means you reset, you realign, and you remind yourself, I don't need to feel like it to be it. The feelings will follow the action, but you've got to move first. People look at success like it's some magical gift, but let me break it down for you. Success is boring. Yeah, I said it. Success is boring because it's the same thing every day. Waking up early, hitting the gym, practicing your craft, doing the hard thing again and again and again. It's not sexy, it's not dramatic, it's not viral, it's just work, over and over, and the people who win, they force themselves to do the boring stuff long enough for it to become powerful. There are mornings where I don't want to get up. There are days when I'm tired, when the pressure is high, when I don't see results. But I remind myself, my purpose is bigger than my pain. My why is stronger than my weakness, so I lace up anyway, I speak anyway, I show up anyway, because the mission doesn't wait for my feelings to cooperate. And neither should yours. You want to build something real, then stop waiting to feel like it. Stop waiting for clarity, for inspiration, for the perfect schedule. Just move, start ugly, show up tired. Push through doubt. Force yourself to be consistent, not just when it's fun, but especially when it's hard, because that's where your future is forged. That's where your power is built. That's where transformation begins. Discipline is louder than motivation. Let me break it down for you. What you do consistently, every single day, is building something. Whether you see it or not, whether it's loud or quiet, whether it's glamorous or gritty, your daily habits are shaping your future and your identity. You don't become disciplined by accident. You don't become great overnight. You don't become legendary because of one moment of effort. It's what you repeat that writes your story. And I'm not talking about the stuff people see. I'm not talking about the Instagram worthy parts. I'm talking about the reps behind the scenes. I'm talking about the time you choose to practice instead of party. The time you stay up to finish when you could have tapped out. The moment you choose to speak life into your dream instead of listening to fear whisper lies into your spirit. That is where identity is shaped. You want to know how people become confident, consistency, because every time you show up, every time you follow through, every time you push through resistance, your brain starts to believe, this is who I am now. It's not fake confidence. It's not hype. It's the kind of confidence that's earned through sweat and sacrifice. That kind of belief comes from doing, not just dreaming. You've got to earn the right to believe in yourself by keeping your own promises. Repetition builds identity, and the scary part, that works both ways. If you constantly procrastinate, you're building the identity of someone who delays their purpose. If you constantly break your word, even to yourself, you're building the identity of someone who can't be trusted with their own future. You don't even need a hater. Your habits will sabotage you before they will. So when I say force yourself to be consistent, I'm not telling you to just check boxes. I'm telling you to protect your identity. Guard who you are becoming, because every repetition is either pulling you closer to the person you were born to be or pushing you further from it. I need you to catch this. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your patterns. Everybody's got dreams. Everybody's got goals. But only a few people have habits that match their ambition. Don't tell me what you want to be. Show me what you do every day, and I'll tell you where you're headed. If you study every day, guess what? You're a student. If you train every day, you're an athlete. If you hustle every day, you're a grinder. The action is the identity. Stop waiting for someone to hand you a title. Act like who you say you want to be. Let me make this real for you. There was a time when I wasn't known. There was no crowd, no recognition, no spotlight. But I didn't need applause to practice. I didn't need followers to grind. I kept showing up because I wasn't trying to prove something. I was trying to become something. And every early morning, every late night, every no, I said to comfort and yes. I said to discipline. That was me casting votes for the man I wanted to become. That was me building my identity, one rep at a time. You've got to ask yourself, what am I reinforcing with my routine? Because repetition is a teacher. Repetition is a sculptor. You keep repeating a lie and you'll start to believe it. But you keep repeating a truth, I'm disciplined, I'm focused, I'm built for this, and guess what? You'll start to live it. You've got to rewire your mind by retraining your habits. That's the only way change becomes real. And don't you dare tell me you're not consistent. You are. You're just consistent in the wrong direction. You're consistently on your phone, consistently staying up late with no purpose, consistently doubting yourself, consistently letting fear lead. I'm not judging you. I'm calling you out because I know there's more in you. You've just been rehearsing defeat so long, it's starting to feel like truth. but it's not. You can flip the script. You can change the pattern. You just have to start small and stick with it. It doesn't take 100 big moves to change your life. It takes one small move, repeated 100 times. You wake up and make your bed. You put in 10 extra minutes on your craft. You choose to read instead of scroll. You show up early instead of right on time. These little decisions, they don't look like much, but over time, they start carving out a new version of you, and that version, that's the one that finishes what they started. That's the one that doesn't fold under pressure. That's the one that's unshakable because they've been consistent too long to break now. You don't need more hype. You don't need more information. You need repetition. You need to do it again and again. And again until it becomes natural, until it becomes who you are. Because one day you're going to wake up and realize you don't have to force it anymore. You are it, the disciplined one, the focused one, the consistent one, and nobody can take that from you because you didn't fake it, you forged it. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop looking for the perfect day. The perfect day is the one where you show up, tired or not, inspired or not, confident or not, because what you're doing isn't just shaping your results. It's shaping you. Repetition builds identity. Let me tell you something. If you don't hold yourself accountable, life will. And life is ruthless with its lessons. Life doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't give participation trophies for almost. Life is going to reflect whatever standard you set for yourself. And that's why if you want to be consistent, if you want to be disciplined, if you want to finish what you started, you better get real about accountability. Not the kind where someone else checks on you once a week. I'm talking about the kind where you check yourself every single day. You don't need more motivation. You need more honesty. You've got to be real enough with yourself to say, I'm slipping. You've got to be bold enough to admit, I didn't give 100% today. And then, don't get stuck in shame. Accountability is not about punishment. It's about progress. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about leveling yourself up. You've got to look in the mirror and be your own standard. You've got to become the kind of person who doesn't wait for someone to remind them of their goals. You remind yourself. You know why people stay stuck. Because nobody's calling them out. They've built their whole life avoiding friction, avoiding pressure, avoiding the truth. They surround themselves with yes men, with comfort, with distraction, and they never grow. But consistency, growth, discipline, all that lives on the other side of accountability. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You've got to confront yourself. You've got to ask, did I show up today the way I promised I would? Did I give the energy I said I'd give? Did I honor my vision, or did I cheat myself again? And don't give me that I'm too busy talk. Everybody's busy. The question is, what are you busy doing? Are you busy building your dream or busy making excuses? Because let's keep it 100. Your schedule tells the truth. Your habits tell the truth. Your results tell the truth. You can talk all day about what you want, but at the end of the day, your consistency is either confirming your commitment or exposing your comfort zone. You want to force yourself to be consistent. Start by stripping away the lies, strip away the soft language. Stop saying, I didn't have time. No, you chose not to prioritize it. Stop saying, it's just not the right season. No, you're scared to start. Stop saying, I'm working on it. No, you're avoiding it. Accountability sounds like, I didn't show up the way I needed to, but I'm not going to keep repeating that cycle. I'm shifting now. I'm locking in now. I'm owning it now. And I get it. Being accountable to yourself isn't easy. That's why most people don't do it. It's easier to blame the boss, blame the family, blame the weather, blame your past, but none of that helps you grow. None of that helps you win. None of that gets you to the next level. You've got to flip the script and say, even if it wasn't my fault, it's still my responsibility. That's what maturity looks like. That's what power looks like. That's what leadership looks like. I remember holding myself to the fire on days where nobody was looking. No praise, no credit, no recognition. Just me and my decision to not let myself off the hook. That's the stuff nobody sees. That's the internal battle that builds external results. It's not about being hard on yourself, it's about being true to yourself. You said you wanted to be great. Prove it. You said you wanted to be consistent. Act like it. You said you were built for more. Live like it. And if you're really serious about accountability, get rid of the plan B. Get rid of the backup excuse. Get rid of the soft landing. Because as long as you've got a way to let yourself off the hook, you will. That's human nature. That's why you have to shut the door and lock it behind you. No more maybe, no more later, just now, just do, just go. You need to create systems that don't let you lie to yourself. Set goals and track them. Write down your progress. Journal your habits. Look at the data, not the emotion. Because your emotions will trick you into believing you're doing better than you are. But the numbers don't lie. The mirror doesn't lie. The scale doesn't lie. The work doesn't lie. Either you're consistent or you're not. And if you're not, don't take it personally. Just change it. Some of you need to stop praying for breakthrough and start practicing follow through. You keep asking for doors to open, but you don't even knock consistently. You say you're ready, but you haven't even organized your day. Listen, God will do his part, but you've got to do your part, and your part starts with owning your process, owning your time, owning your effort. You've got to be the type of person who says, I might not have control over everything, but I will control my consistency. I will control my response. I will control my responsibility. And you know what happens when you start living like that. You stop needing external validation. You stop needing people to clap for you. You stop waiting for opportunities to find you because now you're moving different. Now you've got character. Now you've got strength. Now your name carries weight, not because it's famous, but because it's dependable. You become someone people can count on because you count on yourself. You don't get to the next level by coasting. You get there by locking in, by being real, by confronting the hard truth and deciding, I'm not running from this. I'm rising through it. You've got a calling too big to be casual. You've got a purpose too great to be passive. You've got a destiny too urgent to be distracted. So show up every day. Hold yourself to a higher standard than the world expects from you. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you become unstoppable. Accountability cracks excuses. Everybody wants the breakthrough. Everybody wants the big moment, the big stage, the big win. But let me let you in on a secret. Big things don't create momentum. Small wins do. The little stuff, the tiny victories, the daily disciplines, those are what build something unstoppable. See, everybody's waiting for a life-changing event, but you don't need a miracle. You need movement. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start and then keep stacking wins, one step at a time. You think greatness is about one massive decision. Nah, it's about thousands of little decisions. The decision to get up when you don't feel like it. The decision to show up when no one's clapping. The decision to stay locked in when distractions are screaming your name. You think those don't matter. Let me tell you, those matter more than anything. Because small wins do two things. They create belief, and they create momentum. And once you get both of those moving in the same direction, you become a problem. The problem is, most people don't respect small wins. They look at them like they're not enough. Like if it's not massive, it's not meaningful. But the truth is, consistency doesn't grow in the spotlight. It grows in the shadows. It grows in those unseen moments when you do what you said you would do, not for recognition, but because you refuse to be average. You train your mind to believe, if I said I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And that kind of energy, it multiplies. You want to know how people go from ordinary to elite. They master the mundane. They don't skip the little things. They embrace them. They realize that small wins are like bricks. You stack enough of them, and now you've got a wall. You've got a foundation. You've got something real, but too many of you want to leap over the process. You want the rewards without the reps, and that's not how this works. I'm telling you, don't despise small beginnings. Don't disrespect the early mornings, the quiet nights, the grind that nobody sees. That's where your momentum is born. That's where your strength is developed. That's where your confidence grows. Because when you stack win after win, even if they're small, you start to feel it. You start to become it. You look back after a month of showing up and say, dang, I didn't think I was making progress, but I'm not where I was. That's momentum. That's movement. That's fuel. Some of you keep quitting because you're expecting fireworks every time you work. You want this big emotional payoff every time you show up, but consistency doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it's quiet, but it's still working, that early workout. That healthy choice, that extra page you read, that extra call you made, that one more rep you pushed through, it's working, it's stacking, it's building, it's changing you from the inside out. You can't see a tree grow day by day, but give it time. It becomes unmovable. That's what happens to you when you commit to the small wins. You become rooted. You become unshakable. And suddenly people start asking, how did you get so consistent? And you'll look at them like, I didn't wait for motivation. I didn't wait for a miracle. I just moved. I just got up and did what needed to be done every single day. You know how I stay hungry. I chase small wins. Every day I get up and ask, what can I conquer today that will take me 1 inch closer to the vision? I don't need 10 miles in a day. Give me 1 inch every day. Because when you do that and you don't stop, it adds up. That's the power of small wins. They don't shout, but they stack. And when they stack long enough, they explode into something the world can't ignore. Some of you are paralyzed because you think you have to get it all right in one shot. Now forget perfection. Forget trying to be flawless. You don't need perfect. You need progress. You need movement. You need to wake up and do one thing today that your future self will thank you for. Just one better meal, 1 extra set, 1 more hour focused, 1 less hour wasted, 1 kind word, 1 prayer, 1 journal entry, 1 commitment honored, 1 task completed. That's it. And if you can do that today, and then again tomorrow, and then again the day after that, you become dangerous. The world doesn't need more people who can start fast. It needs people who can finish strong. And the people who finish strong, they're not the ones who burned hot and faded out. They're the ones who kept showing up, kept stacking wins, kept their head down and their vision high. You've got to understand, every time you honor a commitment to yourself, you're not just making progress. You're proving to your mind that you can be trusted, that you're not flaky, that you're not soft, that you're real about your goals. So if you're feeling stuck right now, don't try to change your whole life in a day. Start small, win daily, win quietly. Because before long, that quiet stack of wins turns into loud results. And when that momentum builds, when that energy catches fire, when those wins become your way of life, now you're unstoppable. Small wins create unstoppable momentum.